A very, very good morning. Thanks for joining us on this beautiful Saturday morning. We're just waiting for all of you to join in before we get started. Before we get started, guys, again, this is going to be standard procedure. Whatever questions you want to ask, you can ask through the chat और एंड में हम सारे क्वेश्चंस आंसर करेंगे बट टिल देन प्लीज यूज द चैट बॉक्स टू एंगेज विद अस. That's going to be open in a second. So whoever's raising their hands, kindly hold on, or you can just start putting your questions in the chat or in the Q&A. So I think, yeah, we could get started. So hi guys, again, a very good morning and welcome back to the Career Compass. My name is Dipit Sharma. And today we're going to talk about artificial intelligence and the effect it could have on your career. I know कि ये बहुत ही this topic is quite in conversation these days, and there's a lot of insecurity around it as well. But rest assured, there's nothing to be worried about as such. Um, because see, the age of AI is not about replacement of careers, it's about redefinition of value. And as it shapes industries, roles are being redesigned around judgment, strategy, creativity, and leadership rather than routine execution. ये एक urgency भी है, but also this is an opportunity for those of you who understand how to work with AI. You will lead teams, build businesses, and make smarter decisions in complex environments. And joining us today is a seasoned professional in that space. So, Pragati is a seasoned finance and transformation leader with over 20 years of global experience, currently serving as the Director of Finance Services at Fidelity International. She leads a finance capability hub across India and Dahlia and driving enterprise-wide transformation across revenue, sales, and asset processes. She is known for her ability to bring structure to ambiguity and momentum to strategy, having led global processes in FP&A, transformation, governance, and advanced analytics initiatives. She's worked at Cargill, Yes Bank, PwC, around regulatory consulting assignments. And a people first DEI focused leader, she believes in inclusion is a mindset that fuels innovation and sustainable performance. Pragati is also a chartered accountant, a distinction holder from Shriram College of Commerce, and holds a postgraduate degree in data science and analytics from the University of Texas at Austin. Pleasure to have you with us this morning, Pragati. And my students are all yours, and over to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dipit, for the warm welcome. And good to see such large size of the group and people keen to learn about how the careers are going to evolve in the age of AI. And as Dipit said, this is a topic in conversation these days. It is not about replacement. It is not about jobs, no longer required. It is about evolution of careers, which we haven't seen, or maybe most of us have seen in different forms and shape. It is just that the words that we use around AI, earlier it was internet, and that all has changed, right? And it is going to evolve over the years. So also Happy New Year to this group. Really enlightened to see all of you trying to gain more knowledge. And this is my first time with this group. I'm happy to answer as many questions as needed. Also, I have requested the Dipit and team to introduce some of the poll questions that will help me understand where the audience is in terms of their understanding of the AI so that we can direct the conversation accordingly. Yeah. So just starting with a bit of introduction from my side. So Dipit has already, kind of given a brief around this, but I want to touch base, talking more about how AI has shaped my journey over last years, right? And I'm a girl coming from Lucknow, born and brought up in UP, moved to Delhi to pursue my graduation from Shriram College of Commerce, and also simultaneously pursued CA. Somebody coming from a commerce background, I had never thought that, over the period of time, my role will evolve so much that, more than commerce, I'll be talking about technology, and my role, will have to cater to several aspects of finance, not only several, but I would say numerous of aspects where I'll be taking lead on technology side of things. And this is how our careers have evolved. Some of you are already working professionals. You must have seen that in your roles and as part of your jobs, how you are kind of continue to invest yourself in terms of learning new tools and technology, revamping the way you are working and evolving towards new ways of working, and how technology and AI is playing that role. So for me, my career started with PricewaterhouseCoopers, pure vanilla kind of compliance kind of role, audit kind of role, and somebody who is a chartered accountant would always envisage starting their careers from Big Four. So that's where I started. It was I would say at that point of time, following the crowd, I didn't have much of direction how to pursue things which are different. But when I look back now, 10-15 years of journey, it has been really, really rewarding for me, and how I've navigated through different parts of the organizations, different roles and opportunities. And obviously, that learning curve has been really, really great. So moving from audit, I always thought that, audit gave me a good experience, good hands-on experience, um, around how different industries operate. And at that point of time, we were still playing on Excels. A lot of documentation was still happening over some of the tools where we used to, keep record of how the client is compliant with various statutory compliances, with various laws. All of that, a lot of documentation was needed. Now, when I look at how audit word has changed, and this is just one of the examples, and I'll be talking about several such aspects which I've worked on, several roles that I've worked on, and how that has changed over last 10 years. Auditors have become as clever as the client, as the processes, the tools, the AI tools that are available in the market, especially also on the audit domain. They are capable of finding out exceptions, any compliances which you haven't, which you've breached. All of that is happening on a click of a button, right? There's no more manual documentation which is needed. While I would say the skill which still remains very relevant is the deep knowledge of the laws, the caveats which still continue to apply. So I've prepared a short snippet of some of the skills which will be needed, and some of the skills that we need to unlearn, which probably would have been taught to us since our childhood, that are key to our success, because now future will belong to those who will challenge the ways how we were meant to be successful. So I'll take you guys through that journey. Also, I would like to pause in between, and Dipit and team, please feel free to raise questions during the session or after the session if it is relevant. So I now see 160 participants joining. Maybe we can run the first poll before I talk about the things we need to unlearn, in terms of the mindset shift. But before that, I would, like to understand from the audience here, 160 participants, what is their understanding of the AI? And there's first questions around how are you feeling about AI right now? Can someone help shoot that poll for me, please?
Uday, please वो poll run कर लो. And guys, chat is open. I can already see some people in the chat. So I think, okay, guys, the poll is on. I am going to answer that as well. Actually, I'll be the first one to answer. So let's see. Okay, unfortunately, I can't answer this poll.
Yeah, host and panelists cannot vote, it says.
Yeah. Okay, some very interesting early trends I can see. Quite exciting.
Hi, Dipit. Somehow I cannot see the poll results, so let me know when
Right.
they
Okay.
start. Yeah,
So
right.
we've got about 70 people who have 70% who have voted already.
And what do they
So
say?
okay, so the first one is anxious. Will it replace me?
Okay,
And that is only 5%. 5% people think that AI will replace me, which is a very, very good
very
marker.
good. Very good. Yeah.
The second one is excited and already experimenting. That's about 25%. And we've got a equal split, actually not equal. So 40% think that curious but unsure where to start, and 41% are confident that AI is an advantage for me. Actually, now both are tied at 41%. Curiosity and confident are both at 41%.
Very good. I think 40% of the group can teach me about AI. But yes, we will definitely try to address, more questions around AI and, and people who are curious but unsure where to start. Hopefully, this session would help address that ambiguity. So let me quickly share my screen, and these are some of the talking points which I thought will help us, keep in mind how to navigate through this phase of our careers, right? The biggest thing which I mentioned to you guys is, more about the technical skills. It is about the mindset shift. It is about challenging the traditional ways of working, right? And I saw some of the questions on the chat board where, chat box where it said that what are those specific skills which, from finance, which a person with MBA degree would value. And there's some of the other questions around, whether we should pursue data science course and and try to before we apply for the jobs. So I mean, just hold on to those questions. The first thing I would want to say here is that there are a number of courses available in the market right now where you don't need to learn a lot of technical skills. AI is simplifying things for me. A finance person coming from commerce background, I almost have 50% of the team which is coming from the technical background, but also rest 50% of the team which does not have a technical background, but they know coding. They know data science, because some of these courses which are available in the market, they make it so simple for you to understand. And some of the tools available now, they do not require you to learn coding. You can just use it as is, in terms of applying the codes, and they're quite user friendly. So basically the most important thing here is, and the skills to learn, I would say, is mindset shift, is basically what is the outcome you're trying to achieve. So some of you are freshers on this journey, and you will be kind of figuring out where you want to land in terms of the job, right? And some of you are already pursuing some kind of profession or jobs, and it is so important that to keep an eye on the end outcome. And especially when you are landing in big organizations, and just taking example of my organization, somehow you're part of a small part of the puzzle, and it is very difficult to see the end picture, what the client wants, right? And that curiosity is so important to understand that what role are you playing in terms of meeting the end needs of the client, or what that organization is trying to deliver, right? So for example, if you are part of a company which is setting up a supply chain, and your job is to make sure that you're part of the procurement function, and the commodity or the product reaches to customer on time, right? So it is so important to understand the SLA, the pricing, if the client is satisfied or not with the delivery, and all of those aspects. So keeping eye on the end outcome is really important, so you can challenge the current processes, current activities, current tasks. I would say people who are fresher on this call, they are really in a good position, because they do not come with any preconceived notions about how things work. So they should be willing to challenge and understand and then challenge how things are working. So we'll come to tools and technology later on around what to learn, but these are the mindset shifts we need to learn. The other thing is waiting for clarity before acting. And we all know that there is so much disruption happening around, whether it is geopolitical disruption, or markets are volatile, or any rapid change happening across us. And it is kind of putting us in a backseat in terms of taking decisions. And that is where we need to act. And where we need to act and stop saying that, okay, we will only act when that clarity will come. That clarity is, I would say there are always projects where we go live where we have achieved 80% of the outcome, 20% of the outcome is still to be realized. So it is very important to kind of rapidly experiment things and move even without getting 100% clarity. So that notion that we need to be perfect, that needs to be challenged every now and then. Equating effort with impact is another thing. What happens is, and especially our traditional mindset forces us to think that, okay, if we put 5 hours in a task, 5 hours in our jobs, and we are to produce a report, that we are able to create an impact. So this is something which we again need to go back and challenge. It is assessing our work by results, not by the number of hours we are putting it. And that is definitely a traditional way of working. Again, needs to be challenged. Relying on processes over judgment. Again, this is a tricky thing because you will see in many organizations, there are legacy processes being set up, and people are used to following certain ways of doing things, and sometimes ये response आता है कि ये तो ऐसे ही चलता है, ये काम तो ऐसे ही होता है. So that is where frameworks are good, where where there is a need to inform, there is a need to kind of take a call, whether there are breaches, where we have confirmed to the timelines and so on. But we have to understand that processes are going to shift, processes are going to change and evolve over a period of time. So that judgment also becomes really important. You guys must have seen the most commonly used tool like ChatGPT, which is, at least in my family, I'm using it in my professional life, in my personal life. It hallucinates number of times, and that's where that judgment, that human call, your own expertise becomes more important, right? And that's judgment as a skill is something which will be valued over the period of time. The other thing is playing safe to avoid mistakes. Now, this is another mindset shift that we need to make, right? At least, I've seen many organizations now, and with the advent of AI tools in the market at a rapid pace, it is always advisable to start experimenting with those tools and to kind of derive what are the tools which are going to do a real value add, and what are the tools which are not helpful, right? So basically, it is about failing fast and learning from those failures, which is really going to be of immense help in the future. I would say within my team, we do a lot of experimentations, and there are instances where we haven't been able to get to the end outcome, but there has been an immense learning, right? There has been an immense learning. And with respect to using some of the tools, AI tools, which we are not able to use now, we've realized that we need to fix our data, we need to fix certain processes so that we are able to get the best outcomes. But that is only possible because we started experimenting on those tools. If we had not taken that step forward, it was very difficult to gain any learning. So these are some of the skills that we need to unlearn, and it is really important that we change the way we are conditioned, or our minds are conditioned. There will be a huge list again, but these are some of the things which I thought would be a good talking point for this group. I'm happy to take up some questions, Dipit, if you advise. I know there's some people raising hands as well before we go to the next topic.
You could take some questions. I'll leave that totally with you. So we could probably, okay, so I'm just opening the chat box as well. So as far as someone's written, how can I master AI tools? I think the session is about that only. So if any questions or anything you guys have, please feel free to ask. But I think looking at the questions, I'm sure we'll cover these towards the end as well. And ये सारे questions जो आपके हैं ये session में naturally भी answer हो ही जाएंगे. So I think Pragati, we can continue.
Yeah. So I just wanted to answer the first one. हेलो सर, मैं BCA कर रहा हूँ, पर कुछ लोग बोल रहे हैं डेटा साइंस के लिए MCA PhD करनी होगी. This is not true. So you don't need to pursue MCA, PhD for data science. I'm being a commerce professional. I was expected to set up data analytics capability as part of my team, and I pursued data science course from Great Lakes, and that was of immense help. I would say now the course must have really shifted in terms of what they are imparting as a learning now because of further evolution of AI. But this is not true, Shivam. What specific AI skills do employers in finance value most for MBA graduates? So, basically, in terms of the AI skills, your ability to break down complex problem statement into a very simple form so that the audience or your stakeholders can understand it. So if I talk about finance, finance has certain snippets, right? It has tax element involved, it has audit, accounting, FP&A, budgeting, forecasting, right? All of those aspects involved. It is very important to learn new tools, including, Copilot, conversational BI, and there's certain tools available in the market already, like Power BI, Tableau, which are launching their own agentic AI versions, right? So it is really, really good to understand what additional features are these tools offering. And AI skills, I would say that they are evolving from the perspective of finance, whether it is preparing the financial statements or, getting to the right pricing for the customer, or, getting to the right budgets for your organization. So all of these, the number of tools available in the market uh, uh, to kind of, simplify those activities. There is no one specific AI tool, but your learning agility and your ability to say that, okay, I've learned what is the new thing AI Anaplan is offering, what is the new thing this ERP is offering. All of these things value a lot. So your learning agility is something which is really important. And the last one I've got, ma'am, for investment banking, FP&A research, like in such roles, how can we partner with AI to be able to complete complex models more easily so we won't have to remember a lot of stuff and can be helpful to us? So in this space, I would say that, especially in investment services space, there are a lot of organization introducing their own own AI tools because also of the confidentiality of the data, right? And these complex models are being kind of trained over a period of time so that they can learn that ambiguity and come up with a more, less sophisticated way of finding answers. So I'll say that if you are an MSME, a part of an organization which is an MSME, partner with some Indian startups, or if you are part of well-established organizations, multinational organization, the number of organizations, which, multinational organizations like to partner with in terms of introducing those tools which will, build complex models to simplify the investment services or investment research activities. Okay, so I think I've answered number of questions. Maybe we move to next one before we take up more questions. I would like to run through another poll as I go through the skills to learn. So the next poll is, which of these mattered most in your education, right? Deepik, are you be able to run that poll? Yeah.
Yep, already on.
Yeah, great. I can see that on the screen now. Thank you so much. I think there's a good response. The response is going up. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we'll give it another maybe 15 seconds. So guys, if you haven't answered, there's a poll on your screen. Uh, Please show your indication. Yeah, I think we'll just wait for it to become 70% of responses. I think then we should be having a definitive picture. Again, guys, there's a poll on your screen. Please show your indication. I think Pragati, we are good.
Yeah. Okay, good. Good. Good to see the response here. Accuracy and correctness is something which I can also recall from my childhood days that this is the skill which mattered most in our education. And obviously, the next one which is coming up is asking the right questions. So, though I would say that I don't think, if we go back to the traditional ways of how our schooling used to work, asking the right question was very much encouraged, at least in my case. But yes, accuracy and correctness was the one which was definitely encouraged. Uh, can I go to the next poll now before, jumping on to what skills we need to learn? Which skill do you think will matter more in next 5 years? Right. And you guys are going to see that, this will change drastically in terms of what, mattered in the past versus what will matter in the future.
Guys, the third poll is also on your screen. So kindly let's get to it. Guys, request you to please vote quickly so we can
Yeah,
continue moving
yeah,
on.
yeah. So these are interesting results.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the name AI coming in mind, people think that, technical expertise will be important. Technical expertise can be defined in different ways. Maybe we will talk about it as we talk about skills to learn. Business judgment is definitely important. Domain depth, is something which is above all, but I think this group still feels that perhaps, not many people have responded, but that is going to be one of the fundamental skills because we see that in terms of the domain depth, there are number of AI tools available in the market, but still you are required to validate the outcomes and the outputs they generate. And that's where domain depth is going to be the key. Uh, Learning agility, superb. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe I'll say that we move on to the next slide, the bit because yeah, we're
Yes,
short of
please. Yeah.
time. Thank you.
Uday
Thank you.
and kar do poll, please. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much, guys. Thank you so much. Yeah. I'm just moving on to the next slide. Just give me a second.
Sure.
Okay, so skills that remain relevant, and evergreen and going to be fundamentally important. Some of this I've already spoken about, and these are evergreen, skills, but they are going to play really, really important role. I would say we are still, kind of there in terms of, we are evolving from the way the AI is taking shoots, but we are still evolving in terms of developing a very emotionally intelligent, AI platform, and that is emotional intelligence as a human skill will continue to be really, really, really important. Problem solving is something which I talked about. Half of the times, as part of your roles and part of your jobs, nothing will be straightforward, right? Even if you're part of finance, marketing, technology, or any domain, or HR, problem solving will be needed, and our ability to ask right questions will be the skill, because there will be a lot of tools available in the market, which are kind of providing you guidance, giving you a lot of context, information, filtered information, but our ability to prompt and our ability to ask the right questions will be the key. And I have seen in my role as well, and some of the enterprise wide initiatives and transformation that I'm running across the enterprise, across geography, it is so important to be able to articulate a problem which people can understand, or an opportunity which people can understand, and the impact it is going to create if you solve it, or an opportunity which exists in the market. If you are able to work on it, what is the impact which is getting created is going to be really, really important skill. Now, critical thinking, and you guys will be surprised that I'm not talking lot about technical jargons and learning about this AI tool or that AI tool, but these are the skills which we need to actually hone during the course of time and make. And these are the skills which will help us make best use of the AI tools in the market, right? Critical thinking, again, challenging the assumptions, testing the reasoning, concluding a lot of findings is something which will be really important. And critical thinking also means challenging preconceived notions, assumptions, which is going to remain critical for any kind of roles going forward. And I'll tell you, interestingly, as part of my role now, when I'm doing hiring, obviously I'm looking at domain expertise, but there's a 50% weightage given to domain expertise and 50% weightage, given to all of these skills. And domain expertise is something that we are anyway being cultured, and the number of programs available in the market to hone those domain skills in various areas. But these are the skills where most organizations are. You must have heard about psychometric tests, more to judge your problem solving, critical thinking skills. Now, emotional intelligence, as I spoke earlier, also ability to collaborate, to work in an environment where people are not like-minded, right? And bringing them all together to achieve an outcome will be really important. And that also would also mean reading the room, stepping into the shoes of other people to understand how they look at the problem statement, how they look at the opportunity, will be again very important skill. And I'll tell you that as you guys, and then you will see as part of your experience in your professional and personal journey, both at home and in office, emotional intelligence become really, really important to navigate through an environment where there are culture differences, there are differences where how people perceive a particular scenario, and just getting to understand their perspective is so important. Also, ability to read those interpersonal cues to resolve conflict will be also very important skill. Yeah. And this is something where probably AI can provide you guidance, because I was just looking at number of AI tools available in the market, but that's something which comes with practice, which comes with patience, a lot of collaboration, and having that empathy to understand the mindsets of various individuals and personality types. We've already talked about judgment, the importance of judgment, balancing risks and opportunities really fast, and that will continue to be an important skill, and experimentation as well. So these are the core human skills and the core capability, which I would say that AI, if we want to leverage AI, this is something which we need to polish and stay relevant. I would also want to look at, now I see the number of questions. मैम MBA कर रहा हूँ, मुझसे इससे रिलेटेड कौन सा कंप्यूटर कोर्स करना चाहिए? See, it is a very specific question. I don't know which stream you want to pursue. Maybe we can take it offline. In today's time, becoming a web developer is good or not. I would say there are a number of AI tools available in the market where you can easily design a website, or it is so easy. I think what will be really important, I think instead of pursuing or trying to become a web developer, trying to hone your creative side of things, trying to master all the AI tools, relevant AI tools, if you are passionate about becoming a web developer, if you can get hold of them and master them, because there are people who still don't have knowledge of those tools, and you can be an enabler if you want to pursue a career in web development. The thing with AI is that it mainly removes noise from the signals. Right now, the models aren't perfect, except in few verticals. As AI labs collect more data, it will be eventually replace more roles. But as of now, the main reason companies are investing in AI is FOMO, the cost of missing opportunities. Yes. So this is a very good question. I would say that definitely in some instances, AI is being leveraged to experiment, for rapid experimentation, right? I would say that it is so important to experiment at this stage, and most of the organization, what they are doing, they are establishing their AI labs for making sure that that there are skills available in the team to be able to leverage those AI tools, which make our life very simple, which make processes more robust, SLAs more proactive, and there is, I would say, in terms of FOMO, I would rather like to call it that organizations want to experiment more and fail fast so that they can identify what are the best AI tools they can leverage and where they need to focus their investments in, right? Because there can be areas of opportunities and there can be areas where probably it is making use of AI, will not be a good thing at this stage. While everyone is buzzing about what are its real world applications in multinational and how does it both. So I will talk about some of the real world applications from the finance point of view and how we have implemented some of the changes. So organizations, big organizations have some legacy platforms where we do coding, and it has taken a number of years for us to get rid of those legacy platforms and move to more data agile platforms. So using AI has helped us expedite that journey. That earlier it used to take 5 years, now it takes 1 year because coding has become really simple through use of AI. You must have heard within finance world, we use a lot of reports to report outcomes, P&L impacts, how each of the business is doing. So now instead of those standard reports which are more static, we are leveraging conversational BI, where users can type their queries and get more of insights rather than static reports. We leverage a lot tools like Copilot, ChatGPT to do research and come up with basic research. Presentations have become so easy to prepare. You now a presentation which used to take an hour to prepare can be prepared in 15 minutes. So these are some of the basics that I'm talking about. Tools like Copilot, you can automate small tasks very easily because it can generate the code, and people who even don't understand the coding, they can apply that code and develop macros to automate redundant manual tasks. Sorry, there are many questions. Maybe I'm not able to take a lot of them. Dipit, do you want to filter some of them?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
So a
yeah,
lot of them can be, I'm sure you'll end up answering a lot of them uh, as well. So, guys, based on what I'm seeing, there are two, three themes that the questions are around. Firstly, what you should be doing to sort of set yourself on a path. What is the expectation of corporate India from you guys when you will go out looking for jobs? And of course, the last thing is that what are the core skills that you need to start learning, right? So I think we'll keep that as the theme. And Pragati, we could probably pick up on these three questions towards the end because otherwise we'll just keep answering questions.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, sure,
yeah.
Dipit.
So
Yeah,
so let's say in the last 10 minutes, we do the questions, but for now we can just go through this. And guys, please be patient. It could be that a lot of questions you have, Pragati ma'am will probably end up answering them in this flow of the session,
yeah.
right? Cool. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much, guys. And yeah, so I heard some questions from Dipit around things that skills and that will differentiate us in future and how we continue to remain more relevant in the age of AI. So as one of the polls was around understanding what are the skills which will matter most, and that's where core deep skills, your functional skills, that is something which is going to be really, really relevant in the future. So if you're a finance guy, learning more about deep finance, learning more about forecasting, budgeting, FP&A related stuff, more around how business work and what is the role of the finance function in terms of making sure that it continues to make and guide those strategic decisions will be so important. So learning those deep functional skills will be very, very important because surface level knowledge even AI can provide. And again, as I said that, since AI still hallucinates, there are validations needed at various stage. Those core deep skill will help us to, challenge some of those hallucinations, will help us decision framing and just making sure that we continue to make optimum use of AI. So choose your your domain and gain in-depth understanding of that domain and progress towards developing those vertical skills, which is depth, and also horizontal skills. I would say complementary skills in terms of getting to understand the business more horizontally. So if you are a part of marketing function or HR function, so you cannot be you cannot be successful unless you understand the business context beyond your role, and that's where those complementary skills come in, and ability to connect across different teams, understand the end-to-end value chain is something which can complement very well along those deep skills. And if we are able to pair that together, that will help us kind of navigate through our careers really beautifully in future. So I'll tell you, just giving you an example from my own career journey, though I started from pure, finance kind of roles in audit, FP&A, accounting. But over the period of time, my role really evolved and I moved into change and transformation. I also started leading data strategy as one important vertical for the CFO organization, because we realized that data is so much important in essence, and it's kind of an oil for the organization to progress, because we couldn't, if we couldn't rely on our data, we couldn't be able to judge our performance, our key KPIs well. So we realized the importance of having the right data strategy in place. And as a person coming with that finance skill set, it was a kind of a very different learning for me, because I'd never envisaged that a person coming from commerce background will take up that role around data strategy. But as you navigate through various roles in the organization, it opens your thinking around how best we'll be able to use new tools and technologies available in the market, and data, having the right data, plays such an important role. Again, communication and communicating with impact will be really important. Communicating information and communicating impact is really different, right? It is not about just communicating numbers. It's not about just throwing out some information, but thinking about what impact you want to create, who's your audience. That is really going to be important in future, and communication is going to be the key skill, I would say, because there will be a lot of tools available in the market to kind of complement your thinking around domain expertise, around complementary skills, and will help you elevate. But to be able to translate that in the form where people in different cultures and geography can understand the impact, communication is really going to be going to play a very important role, right? So these are some of the skills, and I would say that start using the tools to be able to become more smart, especially the research tools which are available in the market. Whenever you are taking some important decisions, assumptions as part of your roles, or trying to even do some basic research. Some of the questions that came up on the chat, I was also thinking that ChatGPT can give a very smart response to some of those questions, but it is more important, as I said, to ask the right questions, ask specific questions, so that you're able to get the right response whenever you are doing some of the research. Also with this, I want to caveat that over-reliance for finding the final answer is something which is not suggested, because it is just that you will see different AI tools at different level of maturity at this stage, and that is where your core deep skills will come into play, where you can use AI to polish your outcome, but definitely you will be the key decision maker, right? And when I say decision making in terms of relying on the final output which that AI generates, also for communicating the impact, that decision making will be really, really important, because you have to translate the impact understanding your audience. Yeah. So this is about the skills that will differentiate the professionals. I've also kept some themes around how you can prepare, 90-day plan to be more confident around your journey and what the next steps can be. We still have the bit week. I can take 5 more minutes, right?
You
And
can
then we
take
can go.
as much time as you want, Pragati. So
Yeah,
one
yeah.
hour is just indicative. We can go beyond that as well. Not a problem.
Yeah, yeah. So it is just a more practical approach to kind of gaining more confidence around how you can go about learning some of the tools, see how this can make impact in wherever you are, in your phase of your career journey. So basically, if you can dedicate first 30 days to kind of define some mini goals. So basically, for people who are pursuing some online courses or some degree, if your next attempt is to apply for a job, if you can come up with a clear goal of that this is a deadline by which I want to at least apply for this kind of a role, maybe in marketing, maybe in HR, maybe in finance, and just map your existing skills, pick up some of the jobs which are available in the market, map the gap. And I can assure you that ChatGPT can do a very good job in terms of mapping your existing skill gaps, and then kind of set some small milestones around how you can some of the roles that you are aspiring for, right? How you need to fill that gap, right? And again, there's some of the AI tools which you'll be able to find easily in the market that can help you shorten the duration of this journey. It is going to be about more about clarity in terms of where you want to reach, because some of the questions that I saw on the chat window were still very open in terms of, okay, what should I pursue next? I'm doing MBA. I mean, getting that clarity and defining in your mind around what is the exact goal, what is the role that you are looking for, will be really, really important as you set those measurable steps, right? And kind of define your journey around what is the best AI tool to be leveraged, right? And um, and next 31 to 60 days can be more around practicing those skills, applying those skills that you have learned on some real scenarios, right? If you are part of an existing, as part of your existing role, you can definitely start applying some of those. I see some of the challenges that can come your ways around getting sponsorship, getting right licenses to use some of the AI tools, or signing up for some kind of learning programs. For that, I think it will be really important to build a proper business case, that how you will use that skill for the benefit of the organization, right? So again, it can be about more focused approach. You can think about that these are people who are already working. These are set of say 1 to 10 problems that I'm looking forward to solve through the use of AI, and this is the course that I want to learn. And through this, you'll be able to save or bring efficiencies of these many hours, or improve your customer experience, or improve the overall experience for the organization. So basically, for the people who are already in jobs, it is more about trying to articulate, if you are learning a new AI skill, how will you bring it to practice and bring tangible improvement for those organizations, and also influence. I mean, as you bring that change in yourself, you'll see people around you also changing, right? And also, for people who are still in that journey in terms of signing up for a job, I think this is the right platform to understand what are the skill gaps you have, and using some AI tools or learnings to kind of gain some practical experience in terms of covering that skill gap. I would say on the job learning is also very important. So don't always look for a job in terms of a paid job. Maybe you can sign up for internship programs if you really want to get some hands-on experience in terms of AI tools, or in terms of certain roles, right, which you are targeting. I would say next 61 to 90 days, it is more about communicating, demonstrating the understanding of the tools, what you have delivered for the organization, or making it visible to the others. And that is really important. It's more about demonstrating what you have delivered, what contributions you have made, and what is the impact of the contribution that you have made. So this is for the people who have already a use case in mind, how they will be leveraging AI and how they will be, demonstrating that tangible improvement. For the people who are still not in that journey, and they are looking for jobs, for them it will be really important to start, appearing in those interviews which you earlier were, fairing to face because you had some skill set gap. So try to appear in those interviews where, where you always wanted to land up in a job, which requires certain skill set, and now you have learned that skill set. Please make yourself, open to that opportunity. Maybe you might fail in passing the interview, but just making sure that you continue to show and practice some of the interview sessions till you make it to the one, right? So that will be really important. So this is kind of a 90-day roadmap around building some confidence around how to navigate through some of the AI skills. Okay, so I think we are there in terms of the timing. I want to park next few minutes for questions a bit. Yeah, I'll stop sharing my screen now.
Right. Firstly, Pragati, that was really, really insightful. And thank you so much for sharing this as well. And also, most importantly, giving us a very important takeaway as to how to implement this through the 90-day plan. I think that is very, very critical. And so I want to start, of course, by looking at some questions, right? So I see a lot of आप लोग काफी पूछ रहे हो around job security and how AI is going to impact us all. So, and I'm going to give a very I'm going to give an answer using what I do as an example. See, firstly, एक बहुत बड़ी मिसकंसेप्शन है कि अगर आप बहुत ज़्यादा एक्सेसिव एआई यूज़ कर रहे हो दैट मीन्स दैट यू आर आउटसोर्सिंग योर वर्क टू एआई, राइट? तो उसके अंदर भी डिफरेंट लेवल्स हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल, अगर आप एक कवर लेटर लिख रहे हो विच इज सपोज टू बी पर्सनली पेन्ड बिकॉज यू आर सपोज टू टॉक अबाउट योर सेल्फ एंड ऑल ऑफ दैट, अगर आप उसमें 100% एआई असिस्टेंस ले रहे हो कि राइट अ कवर लेटर फॉर मी, अगर आप ऐसे लो एफर्ट प्रॉम्प्ट्स डाल रहे हो, that is not good because that is stopping your critical thinking. What you need to do is use prompts to further your wisdom. मैं आपको एक एग्जांपल देता हूँ. So what I do for Shoolini is I pitch a lot of our programs to corporate India. I do a lot of counseling, and I use AI to validate my points. Like, online learning is the future. Can you give me some data on research and this and that? Use it to fuel your curiosity. Don't use it to simply for the language bit of it कि इससे अच्छी इंग्लिश आ सकती है, इससे मैं अच्छा लिख सकता हूँ. यूज दैट बट टू एन एक्सटेंट, बिकॉज अदरवाइज क्या होगा कि आपकी जो एक क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग है वो पूरी एलिमिनेट हो जाएगी. सो ट्राई यूजिंग प्रॉम्प्ट्स दैट फर्दर योर पॉइंट्स. अगर आपके पास इफ यू वांट टू मेक अ केस अराउंड इट, recently I wanted to make a case ki how technology is at the intersection of arts, of science, of commerce. पर ये इसके फैक्चुअल जो पॉइंट्स है वो मुझे नहीं पता थे कि ये कैसे इम्पैक्ट कर रहा है. सो यूज एआई फॉर दीज काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स. यूज इट टू एक्सपैंड द वे यू थिंक. यूज इट फॉर क्यूरियोसिटी. एंड वंस यू स्टार्ट यूजिंग दैट यू विल रियलाइज कि एआई आपका आउटसोर्स कलीग नहीं है, बट इट इज a partner, right? It is like your assistant. It can assist you in doing better. So use that curiosity to further improve your knowledge. The second thing I want to answer is a lot of you ask you what courses should I do? What specializations should I do? See, firstly, I'll give you an employer's lens because I work with a lot of placement partners as well कि उनका क्या perception है around AI and how do they look at qualification and degrees in general. See, a degree is your license. It will get you shortlisted, right? It will ensure that you're sitting in front of the right person at the right time. वहां पे आप अपने स्किल्स डेमोन्स्ट्रेट कैसे करते हो दैट इज टोटली ऑन यू. But with the way the world is moving, the name of the game right now is certifications. You need to constantly keep upskilling. There are so many courses that you can do around AI. And ये नहीं है कि आपने एक AI का कोर्स कर लिया, so you're set for life. मैं आपको एक और स्टोरी बताता हूँ जो Coursera hai. Coursera's co-founder is this person called Andrew Ang. He had this very famous course called AI for Everyone, which has been one of the top courses at Coursera for God knows how many years. But over a period of time, that course जो 2018 या 19 में जो कोर्स का वर्जन आया था वो आज की डेट में completely outdated हो गया है. It has become completely redundant because AI has changed so much. So it is a constant effort that you have to make to upskill yourself because पहले क्या था that knowledge did not have an expiration date. What you learned in college could be applied for many, many, many years now. But now that is changing. What you're learning today will set you up with a foundation. But उसको वो knowledge को maintain कैसे करना है आपने, that is only and only going to be through upskilling. And that is what employers are looking for. Another insight that I can use right now is that because Shoolini also works with a lot of corporate partners, companies are right now giving us batches of people to upskill on AI, on data, and all these people also are MBA graduates, but they did not learn all of this in their MBA class about 15 years ago, right? For example, what you're learning today will be very different what MBA graduates will be learning so 15 years from now. So to summarize, don't stress about this. This is not the end of the world. You're still very, very much in control of your destiny, and you're at the right place at the right time because आप ऐसी position पे हो अभी कि आप बहुत सारे pivots कर सकते हो. You can constantly keep engaging in different courses and different certifications and figuring out what works best for you with your future plans and your skills. So that is my take, and I hope that answers a lot of questions. So let's now get into, and also another common question is, yes, webinar की recording मिल जाएगी आपको, student support team भेज देगी. Um, so in terms of, and this is a question for you, Pragati. And of course, you don't have to divulge any internal policy on this, but given the scale of Fidelity, right? So, in terms of how, when did the AI adoption start for your organization? Because I think in the last 3 years, it has grown exponentially. So, in terms of your own experience with AI, when did you start dabbling with the technology?
Yeah. So Dipit, generally, it is thought that in a large organization, the AI adoption will be very quick and soon, but it is actually a myth. There are a lot of legacy processes and challenges, not just true with Fidelity, but any organization of that scale. We really face a lot of challenges in terms of adapting AI because our data was not good. Our platforms were all legacy platforms, legacy processes. So the first thing which we started doing is started looking at our revamping our processes and data so that we can leverage AI. So we started our journey. We were not early adapters, I would say, but yes, somewhere in the mid. And the other great thing is about the organization pushing us to learn AI tools, right? There's always a push and a pull thing, right? And especially when you are in multinational corporations, there are trainings, there are upskilling courses that organization pays you. So we are well ahead in that journey in terms of adaption. We also launched our version of ChatGPT because of data privacy and all of those concerns. But yes, we'll say that we are somewhere mid in the journey, but it's the some of the magic around AI we've still not been able to do. We are still to see because we are revamping our legacy processes. Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. So someone's also asked, okay, guys, I know कि आपको webinar की recordings नहीं मिली है, so let me just get on that immediately after this call because Pragati, so we do a lot of these sessions, and of course, we'll share the links with you as well. So okay, so this one's interesting. Can learning AI tools completely eliminate the need for Python coding entirely, or is this still a strong case for it?
Yeah. So even I learned Python as part of the data science course I did, but I think it has become irrelevant. Sorry, guys, for me, I mean, as an experience, because you can just get the Python code on a click of a button through some of the chat GPT or other tools available in the market. I think it might not be true for a lot of technical coding that you're doing and you still have to validate the output from AI. So yeah, so might not be completely irrelevant, but Yeah, so but a lot of basic Python has become irrelevant. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. Um, so if you were to, okay, let's try optimizing this. So if you were to suggest, let's say, three, four AI tools that the students can start sort of exploring, um, what would they be?
Yeah, so number of tools available now in the market. ChatGPT is one I'm sure you guys, all of you are using, right? I will say start using the paid version to become more efficient, right? Sometimes people start saving that little bit of cost,
Mm.
but I'll say that it is Perplexity is another one, which is very
Yeah,
good for deep research. And some of the paid versions, I would say they offer better and refined outputs than unpaid version. So try that in some of the instances. So within the organization we have got extensions of AI in our existing tools, like if you see in the Gmail as well, you have the
yeah,
optionality, but in the organizations like us, we are using co-pilots very extensively, right? So
right.
Microsoft Copilot is something which we are using very extensively. Zoom AI, I don't know if you're able to get a transcript through this, but
Yeah.
Zoom AI is really good in terms of summarizing the minutes, summarizing the actions. That comes really handy, right? And where we used to do it earlier manually. In terms of responding to emails, you can get instant responses if you have an enabler in the Outlook, or even if you're using Copilot. So again, that is very useful. Apart from this, whichever domain you are part of, now most of the tools are offering some kind of extension or agentic AI kind of functionality. Try to experiment that, which is very useful. As part of finance function, I'm doing it and trying to experiment the ERP that we use, which is cloud. Oracle, they have some extended AI features now. Snowflake has extended AI features. Tableau, Power BI, they all have extended AI features. Try to explore that. That is really useful.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. So what I also want to just talk about, because I see a lot of questions around tools and the implementation of it. So I am going to give you an answer as a student. Okay, let's say that I am a student and I have been given an assignment that give me 5,000 words on the e-commerce industry in India, right? So let's say this is your assignment. The absolute lazy way to do this is that you copy paste this entire thing as a prompt and you get an answer for that and you submit that. That, of course, will not work well, because then also there are tools that will catch all of this. So the way you need to do this is, of course, look at the approach. Okay, so this is your topic. Understand that you live in India. You can add prompts that, give me this in the Indian context, show me the hyper growth that the sector has faced in the last 5 years. What have been the legacy challenges around manpower, about implementation? You can also add road safety and all of that. You can also show that why this works why this is an advantage in India, in that you can cover labor, you can cover cost of living. So the more you talk, the more you interact with a chat GPT sort of a platform, you will realize that your curiosity will also keep increasing, right? I, for example, use AI quite a bit, and I've just switched to the paid version as well. And I'm sure, and it's a absolutely incredible investment. It helps me a lot in the way I look at business, in the way I pitch to customers. And all of this is just making me smarter, because now I have more data. I can, of course, अगर कोई आपको बोलता है कि नहीं आप गलत कह रहे हो, so you can show, right? You can show the research. You can be very factual with the way you do things. You could use that in your classrooms. You can challenge people. You can challenge your teachers as well. So, it has really equated that, because पहले क्या होता था कि, um, in my college, like now when I look back and see a lot of things that my professors have told me, I knew that there was something off with that statement, but I would never raise my voice thinking कि, I can't prove my point. But
Yeah.
now you can. So एक जो status को होता है education का, वो पूरा बदल चुका है. And the other point, okay, let's also go through. Okay, someone's asking me how to communicate like Dipit sir, so I'll answer that as well. Uh, talk to smart people, guys, और किताबें पढ़ो, अखबार पढ़ो, देखो दुनिया में क्या हो रहा है. Engage in conversation, learn from other people, and just be consistent with that effort. I also come from a purely Hindi-speaking family. Um, all of this has happened through work, through engagements with people, through these wonderful sessions that I'm just able to articulate better. And that is what the core focus should be कि आप लोग बहुत smart हो सारे, you're doing this incredible program. So if your struggle is to verbalize that knowledge, read more, engage more, talk to people more, take part in more conversations. That is the only way that you can do that. So, Pragati, any questions that, okay, people are also asking for your LinkedIn ID. So I think I will just
Yeah,
copy
please do
paste that
that.
as well.
Yeah.
And yes, someone also written telecom companies are offering. Yes, so there is Perplexity AI, I believe, is free if you have an Airtel connection.
Yeah.
Um, okay, and okay, I'm going to answer Jashan's question because he's asked him 5 times. Can you suggest some nice books to start reading?
So is this the question for me?
Yes. So, any nice books that you have that you would like
So,
to recommend?
okay, so this is not an AI, but last year I ended reading The Gifts of Imperfection. It's really a nice book, and it kind of challenges your thinking around the traditional mindset of we trying to be perfect in everything, and how some of our not so perfect ways really make us stand out of
Right.
the crowd, and how we need to embrace those. So this was a book which I loved, which was quite unique.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll
Lovely.
suggest
Very
that
nice.
one.
Awesome. I also suggest one. And this is my absolute favorite book of all time. It's called Shoe Dog by Phil Knight.
Yeah.
It is how Nike invented sports marketing. So for business grads, I think this is an incredible book. Another book I would like to recommend is this book called Ride of a Lifetime. It is by Bob Iger, who is the CEO of Walt Disney Company, how Disney became the largest media monopoly in the world. That is also a really good one. And guys, again, yes, हम सारे videos भेज देंगे webinar के group पे. I have taken your point, and I appreciate you voicing this concern. And also, it's very nice that आप लोग इतने curious हैं. वैसे YouTube पे भी काफी sessions हैं. And Uday and team, if you're here, let's kindly get this sorted and get this to our students as soon as possible. Also, that is bringing us to the end of our engagement, unfortunately. But before we go, this is what I ask all the speakers who come for these things. Uh, in terms, okay, now we can go beyond AI and beyond work, and in terms of healthy habits, in terms of mindset and everything. If you were, okay, let me rephrase this. Let's say when you were starting your career, what were the things that you could do differently, and what are the healthy habits that students can start practicing from today?
Yeah. So I think in terms of things, if I would have done differently, because I think I still followed the crowd,
Hmm.
just landing in SRCC, doing CA, Big Fours, all of that. This was just,
Yeah.
kind of a defined path. I think I should have spoken to people more,
Hmm.
developed a more broader network of diverse, people with diverse mindset and thinking, could have experimented more, which I realized later on. I think that is very important to stay open-minded, right? And as the pit said, that having conversations surrounding yourself with people who are not just like-minded but think differently from yours is really important, right? So this was one thing which I would do differently. Sorry, Dipit, what was your next? There was second question.
Healthy habits that people can start practicing today.
Yeah,
I think you've kind
healthy
of
habits is
answered both.
health.
Yeah.
Health.
Mhm.
I got all my focus and attention on health during COVID days, but now I'm more persistent. There's a lot of commitment towards it. So I am a marathon runner as well. So I started loving to run. So I became a part of the running group, and I constantly followed and stick. Now I'm sticking to that habit, participating in the events. So it is so important to look after your health, because as Dipit said, that learning agility is going to be so much important. Keeping your health in focus, having a healthy mind will be so important to grasp things faster, right? Money will flow in, guys. Don't worry.
Yeah,
You guys are smart
absolutely.
people.
Yeah.
Only if you have the right health. अभी मैंने वो मूवी देखी थी धुरंधर, उसमें वो कहता है कि अगर जब जिंदा रहोगे तभी तो खेलोगे, राइट? So it's more about keeping your health in focus, just to be in the game and being agile all the time, right? So,
Absolutely. And I want to just add, so I also love running. I
oh,
think it,
nice.
and I also so I don't run marathons, but I run my 5Ks at least some 4, 5 times a week. And I am an evangelist. I know a lot of people hate running, but it is the best thing that you could do for your mind, body, and soul. There is
Yeah, that's
absolutely
true.
nothing that can even come close to. So yeah, so guys, as Pragati ma'am said, ki you will grow, you will become successful. But what you need to do is start following the small things that, और ये small चीजें जो होती है, right? They keep compounding.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take running only for an example, right? अगर आप आज भागना चालू करते हो, you will be absolutely horrible at it. You will hate your life. You will be like कि मैं मर रहा हूँ. And that's fine. That happens to everyone. Second day, you might feel a little better. The most important is the third day, because that is the day when you're starting to build a consistent pattern, right? So what, and that could be for anything. So for people who are asking me about my communication and all of that, start reading 10 pages a day. It could be anything. It could, but just get into the habit of reading. That is it. These small things end up compounding. जैसे फिक्स डिपॉजिट की बातें करते हैं हमारे पेरेंट्स, राइट? कि अगर आप आज 1 लाख रुपए डालोगे तो वो इतने सालों में इतने बन जाएंगे. सो इट्स दैट, स्टार्ट स्मॉल. और आपको उसके बाद कुछ नहीं करना. इट कीप डबलिंग, इट कीप कंपाउंडिंग, एंड दैट्स इट. So with that, I want to thank you so much, Pragati, for taking
Thank
time
you
out
so
on
much,
this
Dipit, for
Saturday
this
morning.
opportunity. And thanks to all the participants. Hope your learning journey continues this year. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And guys, we'll be back soon. And we'll also share Pragati ma'am's LinkedIn. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do that right now. Uh, so I think this is you, right? So, okay, Pragati ma'am's LinkedIn is in the chat. So please feel free to add her. You can DM her as well. And we'll be back soon. And I have taken your point for the recordings, and I will get to the bottom of this. Again, guys,
Thank
thank
you
you
so
so
much,
much. Thank
everyone.
you, Pragati. Have a
Thank
lovely,
you.
lovely weekend, everyone. Thank you. Bye
Thank you,
bye.
everyone.